All right, let's welcome our panel this morning. We welcome political analyst Professor Stephen Friedman and media analyst Mr. Dominic Mahlangu. Gentlemen, a very good morning to both of you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Morning.
All right, and now for a look at the big hashtags of this weekend. For this segment, we have another SABC Digital News Producer, the beautiful Miss Lerato Matlala. Lerato, very good morning to you. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much.
What do you have for us on the digital front today? What was the biggest hashtag of the week?
So the first hashtag was the hashtag credit rating.
Oh yes.
This was after S&P released its announcement on Friday. And an overwhelming number of people were happy that we survived another downgrade.
What are they saying on social media?
So looking at ACDP South Africa, hashtag ACDP is grateful that Standard & Poor did not relegate South Africa to junk status. Downgrading Eskom demonstrates issues in management. So this was
I see another one here from COSATU. It says it has welcomed the decision of Standard & Poor's not to downgrade the country to junk status. So these are the big players. But gentlemen, what did you make? I'm sure you were all sitting there waiting patiently to hear the outcome of what the ratings agencies were about to say, Professor Friedman.
Well, actually we were, because it is quite important. I mean, I'm very cynical about rating agencies, but the point is that if they do downgrade you, there's a problem. Now, look, I think there are 2 points to be made about this. I mean, the first one is that the reason it happened mainly is because government, business and labour got together. Because if that hadn't have happened, there would have been a downgrade. I think the other thing from a political point of view, this does quite significantly strengthen the hand of the Treasury and the Finance Minister. Because at the beginning of the year, clearly one of the Finance Minister's jobs was to prevent a downgrade, and most people believed it wasn't possible. And he's done that, and I think that puts him in a very strong position, and the Treasury in a very strong position for the next year.
What did you think, Dominic? A quick one?
No, for me, it's good news, going to this crazy month called December. And I think that we'll approach the new year, with a bit of hope.
Yeah.
But I agree with the professor here that at least Treasury can have that sigh of relief to say that at least their efforts throughout the year to work with business and labor, have resulted in these results. But it doesn't stop here. We need to continue to make sure that we change the situation.
0.5% growth is not enough. An economist said, Lerato, take us through to the next big hashtag of this week. What was it?
So the next one was hashtag moments that made 2016. So this is an interesting one because social media users were going back to the events that made 2016, and one of those are the Oscar Pistorius case, that sentencing hearing where he was walking around in his thumbs showing his vulnerability on that fateful Valentine's Day. And of course, people remember the Doom Pasta, healing people.
I don't know whether we should laugh at this one or
I don't
feel
know,
sorry.
Alicia. I'm not so sure because those people need healing. I don't know.
Well, take us through the next ones.
And the next one is Brian Molefe's Saxon World Shebeen. People
What
are
are
still
they
looking. Well, people are still looking for that Shebeen in Saxon World. It hasn't been located yet.
Gentlemen,
It's become a sort of movement, I mean, it's become one of the great South African phrases. Saxon World Shebeen applies to just about everything now. No, it's
Dominic,
very
what do you know about the Saxon World Shebeen?
No, I'm still looking for the address. But why I'm laughing is that this is classic South Africa. From the Doom story to Brian Molefe, I think the stress levels are going down because if we take ourselves too seriously, we need these kind of stories now in our kingdom.
Absolutely, Lerato, to wrap up the show with another big hashtag of this week.
Yes, the other one was the hashtag Roseback, the Formula One champion
One
who
of
resigned.
my favorite drivers, yes.
Yes, he resigned after 5 days after winning the title. So people are wishing him well on his future endeavors, and others are rather shocked that he resigned straight after he won the championship. They still want Lewis Hamilton to come and take it over again.
Look, I think it's good to go out while you're still on top. What do you think, Professor? A good move?
Well, I'm not an expert on Formula One, but it's certainly a case of quitting while you're ahead. I can't imagine a better way of quitting while you're in. Win a world championship and say I'm out of here. There are probably quite a few other sports people who could think of that as an option.
Dominic, what?
I'm still trying to console my son. He's a fan of Lewis Hamilton. So the whole week has been telling me that he hates that guy, pointing at Rosberg.
Well, now he's got his you can cheer him up.
Lerato, do we still have more time? I think a little bit more time just for one more story that made it big on the social media trends this week. Take us through it very quickly.
So the other one was the hashtag ANC-NEC. This was a big story this week. People wanted to find out if the president will still be president at the end of it. He still is going down.
What did they say?
People are saying the hashtag NEC will not make the right decision today. Sign the people's motion of no confidence and retweet. Hashtag no Zuma.
All right. And there's Robs. He's saying it's problematic when party loyalty prevails over the well-being of the country. Oh, honey, whatever happened to our ANC. So very, very different reviews about what took place there. What did you gentlemen make about the extended NEC meetings that took place this week, Prof?
Look, what interested me about that is that I believe there's a balance of power in the ANC at the moment. The president's opponents, they're two factions. The other faction can't get rid of the president, but then the president's faction would like to get rid of some of them, and that can't happen. What I was interested in is what happened at the NEC. Did it change that balance of power? Are we now going to see? And my feeling at this stage is that as dramatic as it was, it didn't. I think we're still in a situation where those who want to remove the president can't. But those, there were calls there that various cabinet ministers should be fired because they supported the motion, etc. I suspect that's not going to happen either. And I think the main reason it's going to happen is if you're listening to the comment afterwards, the one thing the ANC is terrified of at the moment is a split. And if you start firing cabinet ministers, then you get a split. So it was very dramatic, but I think that stalemate is still there.
Do you think it was dramatic, Dominic?
Yeah, for me, I think that the last meeting of the NEC actually changed the politics within the ruling party itself. Because of now, you've got people who are able now to come out and voice their concerns, even though they did not get what they wanted.
But I mean, this has been the call that's been going on for the longest time now.
For them to have that platform to say we are going to air our views, I think the ANC now has entered another terrain where now party members inside the party are saying that we need to talk about this thing, we need to be upfront with it. But what concerns me was what the Secretary General later said, that he witnessed the hatred. For me, I started to wonder if NEC members can hate each other at that level. What chances do we have as a nation to be led properly if there's hatred at that level?
My goodness. Well, Lerato, thank you so much for joining us this week. Do give our viewers the URL where they can get all these stories that you've been talking to us about on our digital front.
So the URL is www.sabc.co.za/news.
All right. Well, that's where you're all going to find it. Let's take a quick ad break, and after that, we're going to commemorate the legacy of Fidel Castro. After that, do stay